This is Lauren Robles doing my Talking About My Generation interview. I'll be interviewing my mother, Sandra Robles, and we'll just get started with the first question. What is the biggest difference you see between your upbringing and how you see mine?
The biggest difference, I would say probably that this generation is more permissive. The parents are more permissive. I guess my parents were a lot more strict, and yeah, I think that's probably the biggest. This generation
There's a lot of freedom.
a lot of freedom, in my opinion. Yes.
If you had the chance, would you choose to grow up with my generation? Why or why not?
No, I would not, because I think this generation has it tough because mistakes are recorded, and you're demonized for, making a bad decision. Having a moment of poor judgment can haunt you for the rest of your life because everything gets recorded. Nothing can be forgotten. So no, I definitely would not. I would definitely not want to be raised at this time.
Since you are in college, do you feel we've made ample steps forward or back in terms of social justice?
I think that we were taking steps forward. I would say more recently we've probably gone backwards. Yes, I think.
Well, that's actually a part of my next question.
Go ahead.
How, since I was born, do you think that we've been making the same types of steps? And what's the difference?
I'm not sure if I understand the question. So
since you were in college
mm-hmm.
versus since when I was born?
So from when I was in college until you were born?
Yes.
And then from when you were born to now?
Yes.
I would say from when I was in college until, maybe a few years ago, I think we were taking steps forward. I think there was a lot of, political correctness, but I do feel like we were taking steps towards, beyond tolerance and moving towards acceptance. I thought of, people of different nationalities, people of different,
Cultural background.
Yes, but also sexual preferences, and I think we were, making steps or taking steps towards acceptance, I thought. And then more recently, I realized that it was just a dream. No, it was just hidden, that intolerance and that hate was really just below the surface, and it really just took, a very polarizing figure to give people the impression that it is acceptable, that it's okay to be racist, to be xenophobic, homophobic, etc.
Do you think technological advancement has been more helpful or harmful to recent generations?
I think it's a double-edged sword. I think that there have been, we've benefited greatly. The communication, our access to information is, incredible. advancements have, I mean, really just made the world smaller, and I feel like we're learning so much, you know, exponentially. We're just learning so much about everything, science, you know, illnesses and so on. But at the same time, I think that, you know, technology has allowed people to hide, you know, at home, and for there not to be much accountability, you know, because there are things that we don't say to people to their face, but we can say them from our, you know, from the safety of our home behind a computer. And to a degree, I feel that has made people, it has really emboldened very cowardly people, in my opinion. So yeah, I think it's definitely a double-edged sword.
How would you compare your parents' way of thinking to your own?
Well, my parents are chauvinists, both of them, and so I think I'm very different from them. I think being raised in a house where, you know, girls are supposed to behave and act a certain way and do certain things, I think really kind of made me grow up with the chip on my shoulder. And so I feel like I really encourage you, my only daughter, to kind of not be limited. You know, I want you to kind of forge your own path, and yeah, you know, not have anybody place those types of limits on you.
What do you think causes these differences?
The differences between my parents' ideology and you know, I think that I think we just keep, I think that that's just where we're headed. You know, I think that it's evolution. Like, yeah, they're a product of their parents. I'm a product of mine and my environment, and so were they. You know, that was the way it was. Socially, you know, that's how everybody behaved around them, and yeah, I think that it's only going to head more in that direction.
How would you compare your way of thinking to my own?
As that's pretty funny. As I think, as open-minded as I am, I think that you take it to a whole other level. And you know, I was thinking about this morning, actually, how I would like. I think I would have liked for men. I would like for men to move toward us, and rather than us move toward them in our behavior. So I feel like for you, equality means like being more like, I don't know, like,
You call me manly?
it's not even manly. It's not manly.
I took a BuzzFeed quiz and it said that I was a man.
I saw that. But you know, it's your sense of humor. We talked about this the other day, but I'm like, you know how stereotypically guys are like, they have like, you know,
Crass.
crass sense of humor. their jokes are more like sexual in nature, and a lot of dirty jokes and whatever, like, and I don't know. I haven't thought this through. This occurred to me this morning, but really I haven't. So I'm kind of I'm figuring it out as I'm talking. So I'm going to stick my foot in my mouth. But I'm like, I really wish that we could meet somewhere in the middle, that it wouldn't be like, yeah, we have to, in order, like for there, I just feel like we have to still have respect for others, have respect for ourselves.
Be more sensitive.
Yes, so I feel like guys and girls should meet somewhere in the middle. I don't want you to be completely,
manly.
It's not manly, but I just don't want you to be like completely your sense of humor to be like just all crass.
It's not. I like dogs.
Yeah. I'm sorry?
I make dog jokes.
You make dog jokes. Okay.
Dog memes are
I don't even remember what was the question. What was the question?
your way of thinking compared to mine.
Yeah. So I think that you think that I'm still ancient. Like my way of thinking is still just so antiquated. And I feel like compared to my parents, I am just revolutionary. I am like completely...
Same girl.
But I don't agree. I don't think that you are.
Don't agree either.
No, but you see, I think that you think that...
Don't insult me.
That you think so differently from me. And I think that it's more in your behavior,
Degrees.
But I think our ideas are the same. Or similar.
Yeah,
I think that we think
personalities.
similarly, but I think that our behavior is different. Yeah.
What do you think causes these differences?
I think I think a part of it has to do with the fact that you say personality, but I think a part of it has to do with, our need to rebel. I think right now you're 16, and I think right now you're at an age where it's not okay for you to be like your parents or think like your parents or certainly not behave like your parents. God, no. So we'll see, 10 or 15 years from now.
What shocks you about or would you have never predicted about my generation?
Probably, I don't remember well then maybe no. I think maybe it was just my upbringing. Like my friends, the people that I surrounded myself with were not so promiscuous. I think that there's a lot of like, there's
12-year-olds look like they're 20.
Yes, everybody wants to be older, but I think that that's always been there to a degree. I just think that there's this, it's very casual. Everything is so casual. Yeah, like I hooked up with this kid and I hooked up with that kid. And like, I feel like it's so casual. It's not a big deal. Nothing's a big deal. And I think that that's probably the most jagged pill for me to swallow.
What obvious shifts in way of life or thinking took place after 9/11? That was a big switch.
That
Pivot.
is. It's a big pivot. I think that we, I don't know. I think our fears, I think that my generation was kind of lulled into, we were pretty, sheltered. Like we didn't really experience anything so close to us, anything related to war. Everything was so distant, so far, and in, the other side of the planet. So for us to be attacked, for it to happen here, I think was very, I think I don't know, just, yeah, I think we just lost our innocence to a degree,
Where were you, or what were you doing during the 9/11 attacks? And what were your first thoughts? So two questions.
I was home. I was pregnant with you, and I had Anthony. Your dad was at work, and he called me. I mean, I don't watch TV, so.
Where was Dad working?
Dad was in Florham Park. Actually, he worked in Florham Park at the time, and he called me, and he just said, "Oh my God, like turn on the TV, some crazy stuff is happening," and I just remember sitting there and like holding Anthony and like just glued to the TV, and then I started thinking of my friends and my family that work in New York City, and trying to figure out where everybody was and make sure that everybody was okay. But I remember really thinking the first thing, it was like the end of the world. Like it felt like we didn't know what was coming. We didn't know if there were going to be more attacks or bombs or so it was like this uncertainty. It really did feel like impending doom, like this like it was the end of the world, really. It was a very, very scary time, very scary, very sad time, because you're seeing all these images of death and destruction and people jumping out of windows, and
I saw that picture.
It's horrible,
Did you know anyone who was there?
Well, actually, Camilo, your padrino, your godfather, he was a headhunter, and he had placed another college friend of ours, Camilo, at the World Trade Center. Camilo worked during the day, and he worked the night shift. So he left. He had worked that night shift. Got up in the morning. He said goodbye to. He said that he always said goodbye to the security guard, and left. And he lived in Manhattan, so he took the train. And when he came up on the other side, the first plane had already hit. And so he had just missed it. And that security guard and the entire office staff that came in that morning all died. They all died.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What new topics of discussion did 9/11 bring into politics?
I think what our government's authority and power was, like what they could do, how far they could go, torturing to get information, whether they needed congressional authority, like just it kind of, I think for some time it gave our government kind of a carte blanche on fighting terrorism, like in the name of fighting terrorism, I think so much was allowed,
Do you feel as though we're safe from another attack like that?
Gosh, no. Nope. Absolutely not.
Really?
Yeah.
But there have been so many security things that have been.
Yeah, but I just think that it's like, you know, like
Nobody
the iPhone.
is.
Really, it's like the iPhone. They keep coming up with security features, and people just keep finding hacks and ways around them. I just think that that's how, you know,
They'll
that's,
never really be
yeah,
safe from.
you know, so long as there's somebody out there that wants to find a way around.
They're going to.
Yeah.
If you could be president, what is the first action you would take?
I would probably start with uniting uniting kids with their parents,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I think that would probably be where I'd start.
Your first priority?
I think, you know, I would probably, if I sat here and I thought some more, you know, but I think that's the first thing that comes to mind right now.
Who is your favorite president and why?
I think Clinton. Clinton was probably my favorite.
What do you do?
He balanced the budget. I just think that,
Who's the most productive?
yeah, and yeah.
What is the biggest contribution you believe your generation has made to American culture or politics?
Say that again.
What is the biggest contribution that you believe your generation has made to American culture or politics? Like fashion, or like music, or like some type of big. Oh God. Something you did. Something accomplished.
Our generation? I can't think of anything actually. I don't know. Come back to that one.
What do you hope or believe that my generation has the capability to change about American culture?
I think that change always starts with young people. You know, I feel like young people are the least jaded, the most hopeful, the most optimistic, the ones that still love and still actually really have no regard for their mortality. Like I feel like they're fearless, you know, like they really, you know, they're fearless. And yeah, so I think
I'm gonna take down the Cheeto Man.
I'm sorry?
We're gonna
take down
the
Man.
Cheeto Man.
Yeah, but you know what the problem is? The problem is that there are, you know, young people on both sides of this. And so ultimately, you know, I'm hoping that good will win, you know?
Yeah. That was my last question. So if you want to go back to the one you had no time to think about.
You have to give me some time to think about that one. I don't know. I can't really think of anything that our
generation did. Mariah
Carey. God.
Double Denim?
No. I don't know. So far, our biggest contribution, I can't.
Nothing too significant that would come to your head?
No, not really. Not really. I feel so dumb for not being able to think of anything, but
I felt dumb. What was your least favorite trend? That's like,
Baggy jeans.
oh really?
Like I don't mean just baggy jeans. I mean like
Like showing your butt cheeks?
no. It was like I can remember wearing like men's jeans, like really big, long men's jeans that were.
Why'd you wear them if you didn't like them?
No, I think it's the trend I most regret. Let's just say. I look at pictures of myself. I'm like, oh my god, what was I thinking? Yeah, that and the big hair, like the big bump right here.
Oh, that was so ugly. Like the teased.
Yes, the teased bump.
That was really bad. Okay. Thank you.
All right, love you.
Love you too.